From the personal statement to the why major prompt to the why us prompt, one of the most challenging parts of the college application process is writing those college application essays. The essays are supposed to convey your personal beliefs, your character, and how you've grown throughout your high school experience, and it may be hard to formulate those ideas into a comprehensive essay. But in this video, I'll try to give you a guide as to how to build those ideas for not only the personal statement, but also supplemental essays. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. One of the most important college application essay tactics that I used when I was writing my essays is telling a story. Telling a story can help guide the admissions officer through your life. As you tell your story, you can describe areas of personal growth and character building throughout your life, like overcoming a challenge, having made a foundational belief, or learning something new about yourself or the world. One of the ways I incorporated this tactic into my college application essay process was in my very own personal statement, where I wrote a simple story about how I bake gluten-free, egg-free bread for my brother. So within the scope of this simple story, I was able to incorporate ideas of overcoming a challenge, of learning a fundamental belief, and of how this event has changed my character and personality up until this day. So in the context of overcoming a challenge, of course, there's not many really good recipes for gluten-free bread, so I had to do a lot of research online about gluten proteins and how I can mimic that effect in my bread, and how even to just even start from scratch. It took a lot of loaves, it took a lot of time, it took a lot of resources. So I guess that was able to show my ability to overcome a challenge and my passion and dedication to my brother. So to contextualize the idea of a fundamental belief or something that you have that you believe very strong in my essay, the way I incorporated that idea was through the very origins of how I thought of to create this bread recipe. So one thing to know about my brother Ian is that he has autism spectrum disorder, so he doesn't really understand the idea of an allergy, and he can't have this food because it'll make him sick. So when I think of how he sees people eating sandwiches and cake and stuff that he's usually not allowed to have, he must feel really left out, right? Because he doesn't really understand that I can't have this food. It's he's being told not to have that food, so he's being denied that, right? So the way that I thought to remedy this sort of feeling of left out that he has is to create this gluten-free, egg-free bread, right? So then that was kind of the way that I conveyed this fundamental belief I have of thinking of people in their own perspective, not just your own perspective, right? So the way that I thought about my brother and how he feels in his perspective, not just my own perspective, is how I came up with this idea of creating this bread recipe. And I can apply that idea to maybe if I want to be a doctor, right? I have to think about my patient and maybe their pain in their perspective, not just me as a doctor saying, oh, you look like you're in pain. Asking the patient to describe the pain that you have and stuff like that. So that fundamental idea that I had, I was able to convey in this simple story. And then the third point of how this event has affected me in my life. So when I was researching how to make this bread recipe, I learned a lot about nutrition, about the different macronutrients and stuff like that. So that was able to, I guess, give me more knowledge so that I can create more healthier options for myself and my family. And then that led me to exercise and fitness. So I guess from that research about the bread, I was able to gain more knowledge about nutrition in general, and then make more healthy foods for myself and my family, and then learn about exercise and going to the gym. So that really, I guess, simple story about baking bread led to this kind of butterfly effect where now I'm a healthier person in the future because of that activity. So that's also something that how that activity has affected me and my character and myself from its start to now. So the way I was able to convey these broad, big, complex ideas about myself, my character, and my growth from just this small story about how I bake bread for my brother Ian really shows the power of writing your college application essays in the form of a story. So in the next part of this video, I will be showing you how I thought of actually writing these story-like essays. So one of the most important strategies I used in this process is to just think of what I did in a week, right? So I want you to take 5 to 10 minutes and just create a list of the things you do in a week, whether it be after school activities, stuff that you do on the weekend, volunteering, anything. What do you do in a week? So as you may have guessed, in my what did you do in a week, or what have you done every week, it was every Sunday afternoon I baked bread for my brother Ian. That's how I got that idea. because I think the things that we do repeatedly are often the most important things in our lives, whether it be picking up our younger siblings from school and having like a little chat for 5 to 10 minutes as we drive home, or whether it be just some volunteering that you do like every Friday, or some like activity that you do with your friends, right? These things that we do repeatedly in our lives are often the seeds of the very important interactions, the very important conversations, the very important activities that create these important ideas in our life, that create these challenges that we have to overcome, that affect our character and personality way into the future. So once you have those list of ideas, just start making the dots. Maybe search up some college essay prompts from this last application cycle. Start making those dots, start making those connections, start making those essay ideas. That's really where it all starts from. Once you start making those few connections, if you have maybe 5 to 10, that should be good for like at least one school, because a lot of these schools repeat their essays, you know? So that's the biggest strategy that I really use. Just think about what I did repeatedly in my life. So to conclude this video, I'd like to analyze one of the prompts I answered on my Harvard application and show how I utilized the story method and the think of something that happens every week in your life method for your college application essays. So here's the prompt. Briefly describe any of your extracurricular activities, employment experience, travel, or family responsibility that have shaped who you are. This is a 200-word prompt from the 2023-2024 Harvard supplemental essays. So right off the bat from this prompt, I think it's really supposed to show you, like, you're supposed to be able to convey to them an aspect of your character or quality of your personality that has been developed or shaped by an extracurricular activity, employment experience, or travel. So, I mean, I kind of just restated the prompt, but it's a very direct prompt. So I can read my answer to this prompt, and I'll post like maybe the question and the answer in this video. I might not have enough space for the answer, but I'll try. So here's my answer. On the bus home after the competition, our Quizbowl team made a stop to our local restaurant, Dairy Cottage. Opening the doors, we are greeted by a warm breeze radiating from the kitchen. As we eat our food, the stress of the competition dissipates and we reflect on our earlier performance. Dialogue. How could I have missed that Ivan the fourth question? That was such an obvious answer. I need to brush up on that. They make the Shakespeare question so discreet. How should I have known what type of clothing Lord Capulet wore? Guess I'll have to reread that. I think that it was the free lunch that motivated us to make the semifinals. The Quizbowl experience has helped me embrace reflection in the face of academic stress and failure. Our post-competition launches allow us to squash regrets and focus solely on identifying weaknesses and making a plan to overcome them going forward. I've used this rest and reflection principle in different aspects of my life, from understanding research flaws to reworking study habits after a bad test grade. Adopting reflective thinking in my life has allowed me to effectively work on my flaws and look onward with hope. Now, I'll be honest, I do not think this is one of the best written essays I've made for my college applications, but it really did incorporate these two main ideas. I was able to answer the prompt of an extracurricular activity that has shaped who I am in the form of a story about this tradition about my high school Quizbowl team, where after every competition, which we have 3 times a year, and after every competition, we go to our local restaurant, Dairy Cottage, for lunch. So I was able to use that story in order to convey the idea of how rest and reflection and how I've embraced that in my life, and how that has helped me become a better academic and a better student. Now, because it was 200 words, I couldn't go too deep into like how that specifically like has helped me. I had to focus more on the story first and the extracurricular activity, but I believe that the Harvard admissions officers were able to see that I was able to utilize this extracurricular activity to convey this idea, this fundamental belief of who I am and how that's changed myself and my personal qualities. So that's just one example of one supplemental essay, and I'll be doing videos of like all of the supplemental essays I did for each college. So that's something for you to look forward to, but this was just a teaser. So that was my analysis of this Harvard supplemental essay prompt and how I utilized the methods I described in this video to create, I'd say, a pretty good essay for this supplemental prompt. So with that out of the way, I will conclude the video. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching all the way through. Comment down below what do you think of the video. Should I do a part 2? I have some other ideas that I think would make a pretty good video, but I didn't want to make this one too long. Thank you so much for the support I've seen on the other 2 videos. I really love it. If you want to see the stats and the extracurriculars that I had that helped me get into these schools, click on the video at the end card below. I'll make it actually this one. And if you want to see my college decision reactions, or if you haven't seen them, click on this video below. If you want to subscribe, right up here. Like and subscribe, comment down below the videos that I should be making more for this channel. I think I'm going to go school by school supplemental essays, so like Harvard supplementals, Princeton supplementals, Yale supplementals, stuff like that. I'll also cover topics like the interview. I'm not sure, just whatever videos you want me to make, I will make. All right. I'm really excited to be starting this YouTube channel, and I'm so glad for the support that I have. I'll try to be doing 1 video a week, but I am going to be on vacation, so that I may not make a video in the next 2 weeks maybe, but I'll try my best. But again, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. I love you all. Have a great day.